Hello, hello. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part two of that little mini lecture we have on our unit conversion practice. I just threw together some of these example problems because I didn't want to take away the ones that were already on the Unit 1 exam. So these would just be ones that we're going through together today. And we're going to do it multiple different ways, okay? Right? We have our moving the decimal, which we love because that's the easiest option. We're also going to use dimensional analysis, right? Because we got to learn how to do that. It's going to come in handy literally forever. So it'd be good if you got the hang of it. So starting off, by the way, if you haven't watched the previous lecture, like the little lecture I posted, go back and watch it. Cool. So starting off, number one, 2,034 millimeters to meters. Millimeters to meters. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to switch colors. We're into blue this time. I come over here and I say, oh, look, milli, 10 to the negative 3. And I got to go down here to meters, which is my base unit, right? So let's start first by just moving our decimal to reiterate what we already know. So I have 2,034 millimeters. I am moving left on my unit timeline, right? That means that I am also moving my decimal left, and my number is getting smaller. So let's say I have a decimal right here. It's an understood decimal. It is there. And I'm going to move it left by 3. 1, 2, 3. So my new value is going to be 2.034 meters. And that makes sense. So that is one way to do it. And now I'm going to show you the dimensional analysis of it all. So I have 2,034 millimeters, and I know that I want to get to meters. So I have to use a unit equivalency. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say, well, I know that I am moving left by 3, and my number must get smaller. So I can say, oh, 1 meter equals how much? 0.001 millimeters, or, sorry, 1,000 millimeters. I was thinking too fast. Or 1 millimeter equals 0.001 meters. So these are our two options to use for unit equivalencies. I really like having my ones on the bottom. Like, I just love putting ones in the denominator because to me it's easier to multiply across the top and not have to worry about dividing afterwards. So I'm going to put 1 in the denominator. And that means, what has to go in the denominator? Something that'll cancel. So I'm going to be using this equivalency, right? So I'm going to put 1 millimeter down here. Amazing. These immediately cancel. I'm chilling. Now I just have to put the correct conversion on top for meters. And that's going to be 0.001 meters. Amazing. So if I multiply this out, I am getting 2.034 meters. Look at that. It's literally the same exact answer we had up here. And it should be. That makes sense, right? So awesome. You could also substitute this, right? You could put, instead, let me switch colors. You could also put 1 meter on the top and put 1,000 millimeters on the bottom. And again, your units would still cancel. You would just be dividing instead of multiplying. Same answer though. So that is how we use dimensional analysis. So from now on, for these other ones, I know that we know how to move decimals. I'm just going to continue with dimensional analysis so we really get a good hang on of it. All right, so number 2, 0.007522 kiloliters to liters. Look at that. I want to set up my equivalencies. So 1 kiloliter equals, and then 1 liter equals. I want to be like, hey, what the heck does this equal? So 1 kiloliter, to get to liters, I have to go to the right by 3, which means that I'm going to have more liters per every 1 kiloliter. So I have 1,000, right? Kilo, 10 to the 3. I got to move 3 to the right. Yes. So 1 kiloliter equals 1,000 liters. On the other hand, 1 liter, if I'm going the other way to kiloliters, I am moving my decimals to the left by 3. So you could literally just go, oh, hey, 1, 2, 3, and you would see that 1 liter equals 0.001 kiloliters. Yes, very nice. So you could use either of these as equivalencies for dimensional analysis. Like I said, I like to put my ones on the bottom. It is just easier for me. So let's start with what we're given and write this all out. 0.007522 kiloliters times, I know I need kiloliters on the bottom. So I'm going to use this top one right here, okay? This is what I'm using. So 1 kiloliter goes on the bottom. Amazing, my units cancel. And now I need my correct equivalency on the top. So I go, oh my God, 1 kiloliter, that's 1,000 liters. I know that. And so when we multiply this out, it would be kind of the same thing as moving our decimal 3 places to the right. So I multiply this and I get 7.522 liters. Amazing, amazing. And this checks out, right? If we're moving to the right on the unit timeline, our number is going to get bigger. Number increases. And it did. It went from a decimal to a whole number. Amazing. All right, next one. 101.03 grams to centigrams. Ooh, see, and this is one that we have not gone over a lot. I really love the 10 to the third, 10 to the negative third conversions, but it's good to know how to get to centi, right? Centi again means 10 to the negative 2, so it's not as big of a jump, right? So I try to set up my equivalencies first. I go 1 gram equals, or 1 centigram equals. So 1 gram, if I am going to centigrams, I am moving right on my unit timeline, which means that there are more centigrams per gram. Okay, so it's going to equal 100 centigrams. Note up here, switching colors, we're coming back up here. Kilo is 1,000. Kilo is 1,000. Centi is literally 10 to the negative 2, and that's going to be 100 in this case. So literally just do your little hoppy hop on your timeline, and you should get to the right amount for each conversion. Okay, but moving on, so back to this 1 centigram on the other hand, because I could do this too. 1 centigram equals how many grams? Well, I know I have to move 2 to the left on my timeline to get 2 grams. So in this case, we are chilling at 0.01 grams. It's beautiful. It's lovely. So we can keep going with this. Again, I love to have my ones on the bottom. So 1 gram equals 100 centigrams. That's what I'm going to be using. So 101.03 grams times, I put 1 gram on the bottom, so my units cancel. And then I put my 100 centigrams on the top. And so again, our number is getting bigger, which is amazing. That's what we wanted. And I'm actually just going to put this in my calculator just to make sure that I have the right numbers. You know what I mean. Okay, just making sure. So we're moving our decimal 2 to the right, and that's going to give us 10,103 centigrams. Wow, it's lovely. I love it. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I would say most of the time I do like doing the 10 to the third ones, but you got to know centi. Definitely know centi. Okay, moving down, moving down. Woo, look at that. All right, so look at this. We're going all the way from the the right side of our timeline, milli, very small number, 10 to the negative 3, all the way to kilo, 10 to the 3. Wow. So again, multiple ways that we can do this. We can move our decimal. We can use our base unit as a conversion factor, or we could just go prefix to prefix. I love using base units, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going from milliliters to liters to kilo. We did an example of this already. Hopefully we can get it. So 1 milliliter equals 0.001 liters. Amazing. And now 1 liter equals 0.001 kiloliters. Ah, wow. Facts. And that makes sense, right? Because if we do multiply all of this out, our original number is going to get really, really small. And that's what we want because we don't have that many milliliters to start with, and we are moving left on our timeline. So we should have quite a few zeros before our significant digits in 12.11 milliliters. So multiple conversion process. I'm going to write this all in one. I'm not going to take a little stop in between. So 12.11 milliliters. I'm converting to liters first, right? And you know me, I desperately love to use this one on the bottom, and so that's what we're sticking with. 1 milliliter down here, 0.001 liters on the top. Cool. Canceling. Amazing. Now I'm just going to go straight in and try to convert my liters to kiloliters. So right now I have liters and I want to get to kiloliters. So I'm going to add in this next lovely conversion factor here. So I'm going to put liters on the bottom, 1 liter, and 0.001 kiloliters on top. So again, I'm canceling those unwanted units. I'm ending up with kiloliters, and all I have to do is multiply everything out. So again, I'm going to put this into my calculator. Sorry, I didn't do this beforehand. La la la. So we've got 0.0001211 kiloliters. And that makes sense, right? Because this is very small, and we're trying to go to something that is very big. And so naturally our number is going to get smaller. So that's dimensional analysis. Beautiful, isn't it? All right, we got two more. 3.045 kilograms, kilograms to milligrams. We're going the opposite way. So let's get some equivalencies out here, right? I'm going to go from kilograms to grams to milligrams. I'm going to say 1 kilogram. God, how many grams is that, guys? Anybody know? Yeah, well, it's going to be 1,000 grams. And then I'm going to say, oh, 1 gram. How many milligrams is that? How many milligrams in 1,000 gram in 1 gram? I gave it away. 1,000. Wow, it's beautiful. Okay, so these are the equivalencies that I'm going to use, and I'm going to set it up just like our previous one in number 4. So start with what you're given, 3.045 kilograms. I know I want kilograms to cancel out, so I put that on the bottom, 1 kilogram. And on the top, I will put 1,000 grams. Cool. So I'm at my base unit now. My units have canceled. But now I need to go from my base unit to my wanted units, which are milli. So I'm going to put my 1 gram on the bottom. You know, the ones on the bottom, love that. So these cancel. And then how many milligrams are in 1 gram? 1,000. How beautiful, right? Absolutely gorgeous. So multiplying these across, again, just let me use my calculator, 3.045. That's going to be 3,045,000 milligrams. Quite a big number. But again, check your work. That makes sense. We went from a very large prefix with a normal size number, and we wanted to make it into a very small prefix. So that means we're moving to the right, and our numbers are increasing. So that checks out. All right, so for our last one, this was a little bit simpler, just one step, milligrams to grams. So let's see, 1 milligram, this is our equivalency, equals how many grams? I do know from our previous problem that 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So you could use that. But think of it this way. Switch them around. 1 milligram equals 0.001 grams, or 10 to the negative 3, right? Which is also the value of our milli prefix. Ooh, the more you know. So again, I love my ones on the bottom. I will be using this conversion factor. So start with what you're given, 5,432 milligrams times, I'm going to put 1 milligram on the bottom, so my units cancel, and then my 0.001 grams on the top. Multiplying this out, I am getting 5.432 grams. And that makes sense, right? We moved left on our unit timeline, which means our number got smaller. So that is my final example for these unit conversions. And God knows I didn't really have any of the answers before this, so this was kind of just me doing it on a whim. If I made any mistakes, please let me know. I am a fallible human. Mistakes happen. However, this is definitely good practice, right? Really good practice for using dimensional analysis to convert units. So we will continue this, some more example problems, on Thursday. But for now, enjoy your snow day, guys. Enjoy it.